Carl Gustav Jung was also fascinated by a concept, an abstract concept, which is very important in modern science, especially in modern physics, which is called energy. Energy is not really something which you find or you directly observe in reality, but it's an abstraction of processes, underlying processes which are taking place. But this idea of an energy which acts within this world is so fascinating to the people that whole modern sciences, physics, it's based on the term of energy. We have gravitational energy, we have energy of heat, we have kinetic energy of movement, which is all completely different processes, but we recognize an dominating underlying principle, abstract principle, which we call energy. The reason Jung found is that we have something in ourselves, within ourselves, which is active within ourselves and causing all the different aspects and processes within our psyche, with our deep subconscious being, but also within our consciousness, which, if we are not aware or if we are not conscious about, we are projecting into the outer physical observation which we are doing. So the fascination about energy is actually a fascination with what Jung calls the psychic energy, which Freud calls the libido, which in ancient cultures like India is called prana or kundalini or shakti. There are at least 100 different Sanskrit terms to name this life energy, or which in the Chinese culture is called qi. So this seems to be a key to understand the inner reality, to understand that there is a great symbol, the great symbol of inner energy, of psychic energy, which, because it's within us, we get fascinated with our external reality also. So this was also a very important issue in the discussion between Wolfgang Pauli and C.D. Jung, and it was very important in the discussion between Wolfgang Pauli and Niels Bohr, because Niels Bohr was of the conviction that physical energy will always be preserved. There is a law in physics which is the preservation of energy, the first law of thermodynamics. But there is not only physical energy, but the origin of it, the psychic energy within ourselves, or the resemblance of it. So if we have two energies, outside the physical energy and inside the psychic energy, again we might come, if we reflect on it, to the conclusion that it's not really two types of energies, but on a deeper level it might be one. So at least we have to consider that physical energy might be able to be transformed into psychic energy, or psychic energy, psychological energy, it might be possible to have it transformed into physical energy. So this was an important question, and Bohr answered it in a certain way. But we are very much convinced that psychic energy can be transformed into physical energy and vice versa, and that this is actually going on constantly, especially on a microscopic level, on the level of quantum processes. So therefore, these quantum processes, which are processes of very low energy, which are not determined 100% by the laws of the causal laws of nature, but which have an inner freedom. So these processes which have an inner freedom are capable to transform physical energy into psychic energy, or psychic energy into physical energy. And this is an extremely important, this is actually a clue to understanding of how time weather works or how information field devices or technology can work. That if someone comes to a doctor or someone comes to a consultant or a coach or to a priest because he has a problem, it means that there is some within himself, there is a very strong psychic energy which cannot reach the surface of our consciousness because it is suppressed under the surface of the consciousness. It needs some other way to express itself to our ego. And another way to do this might be by a bodily symptom. There are many psychosomatic therapists who are convinced that each bodily symptom has a deeper psychological reason. So another way to look at it is to understand that there is a psychological topic inside, an issue, which has a certain energy. And this energy cannot directly work to our consciousness, so it has to choose a different way to manifest, for example, in the form of a physical symptom within our body, or through events which might happen in our life, can be accidents or problems we are facing in business or in relationships. So what to do about it? I think a clue is that we have to give this suppressed psychological energies within ourselves a chance to communicate to our consciousness without necessarily having to create a symptom or an accident or another type of problem which we don't like. But we need to understand it. So this kind of open quantum processes which we are using in time weather, we are using electronic quantum processes which are based on quantum activities of electrons, but we are also using photonic quantum processes which are based on quantum events of photons, of single photons. So that this open quantum mechanical processes are open towards the transformation of psychic energy into physical energy.